Hello students, I'm going to discuss about aesthetics and what is film aesthetics. First, I will give you a brief idea about what is aesthetics, the concept of aesthetics. Then I will talk about how to aesthetically describe a film or how aesthetically judge or evaluate a particular film. Now, you have Maleficent in your syllabus, and as I have continuously told you, and it's prescribed in your syllabus also. You should be watching Maleficent Part 1. So I will be describing the aesthetics of that film for you to know the concept of aesthetics. I will share my screen for you. Okay, so what is aesthetics? Now, aesthetics specifically means the principle of beauty. It is regarded as a philosophical concept. It is considered a branch of philosophy because, the elements or the domains of aesthetics is extremely broad, and there are many thoughts, many ideas about the concept of aesthetics. The philosophy of aesthetics was first given by ancient Indian philosophers like Bharat Muni in his Natya Shastra, and the theory was further expounded by Ananda Vardhana. So, in Indian concept, in Indian ways, the concept of aesthetics is it is related to the principle of beauty. It is related to the principle of experiencing or tasting the emotions. Okay, experiencing or tasting the emotions. Now, how to taste the emotions? When you are experiencing them, you are undergoing through the layers of emotions. You are feeling the same emotions as, not exactly the same, but similar emotions as the artist, or the artist must have felt, or the artwork that which is intended to make you feel. Okay, so the philosophy of aesthetics in India was first given by Bharat Muni, and it was further elaborated by many of his disciples, students, and other philosophers. The philosophy of aesthetics deals with experiencing or tasting chief emotions such as peace or tranquility. That is, according to the ancient Indian theory of aesthetics, it is called Shantarasa. Okay, Shant. Okay, Shant means peace, tranquility. Laughter, Hasya Rasa. Love, Shringar Rasa. Fear, Bhayanaka, wonder, sentiment of wonder. Okay, Adbhut Rasa. Courage, Veer Ras. Okay, Veer Ras. So disgust. So now these are the some of the chief sentiments which are there in everyone. Okay, which are there in everyone, and any artwork, okay, may have one or more than one of these emotional sensibilities. Okay, either one or more than one of these emotional sensibilities. Through the theory of aesthetics, art critics try to examine the function of emotions in human mind and how an artwork achieves in their expression. So these are, the Shantaras, Veerras, Shringaras, uh, Adbhut okay, all these rasas, or theories of rasa theories, okay, these are the Indian aesthetics, okay, theories of Indian aesthetics, and any art critic who want to know that, who want to comprehend, who want to interpret that how these emotions function in human mind will be able to do that by judging the quality or judging the function of an artwork. So that person, that art critic, okay, that critic will evaluate the materials or the components or the strategy that is being used, that is being implemented by an artist to achieve those expressions, okay, to achieve those emotional expression. The artist may feel, the artist may undergo the feeling or the sense of emotional sensibility of peace, love, passion, fear. So these emotions can be felt by the artist, but how the artist is expressing himself or herself, how it is done, every one of us can feel these chief sentiments, these emotional sentiments, but not all of us can effectively express them. Okay, some are very, very good with their expression, some are poets, some are painters, artists, and every painter's approach towards their expression of emotional sensibilities is different. They vary. Okay, the way you are going to paint a picture, your friend is not going to paint. Okay, so imaginatively, our imagination, the faculty of imagination varies. Okay, now I have continued. What is aesthetics? Let us discuss more. Therefore, it gives a pathway to explore what are the artistic techniques applied in a work of art to collect or get desired emotional responses from audiences. An artist may feel various emotions, but it is a very serious role, it is a very important role on behalf of the artist to express his or her emotions successfully. He or she chooses certain words, certain, if he or she is a painter, certain color combinations, okay, to express the concepts, the emotions, okay. So any concept will have emotions also, right? So to express his or her emotions, an artist applies some strategy, okay, adopts some strategy, some he or she tries to find out a way to express his or her emotions. So through the principles of aesthetics, when you judge, when you evaluate as an art critic or a film critic, when you start to evaluate that how a film has been made, what are the components that has been used, what was the intention of the director, what was the what is the main idea of the film. So when you judge, when you try to comprehend about all these aspects, okay, so all these aspects when you try to comprehend about, you try to analyze what are the formal elements, what are the artistic techniques that are applied in a film, in a work of art, okay? When aesthetics of any work of art is studied, the nature of art, beauty, and tasting the emotions are interpreted. So when you are aesthetically studying a work, aesthetics means beautification. What is the beauty? What is the value of that artwork? Okay, why that artwork is valuable? Beauty doesn't mean someone's physical appearance. Beauty out here, aesthetic beauty or aesthetic in the larger sense, means that what is the nature, what is the nature of an art, why the art is valuable, why the art is important, why the art is significant, what the art is trying to convey. Okay, so all these things are included in the concept of aesthetics when you judge a film from aesthetics perspectives. Okay, and tasting the emotions are also interpreted. When you taste food, when you taste a certain food, when you taste ice cream, when you taste a hot gulab jamun, so when you are tasting, you are undergoing experiences, and there are layers of tastes. Okay, there are layers of moods that you unravel. Okay, so when you are evaluating an artwork, you are experiencing it, you are consuming it, you are appreciating it, you are enjoying it, you are relishing in it. Okay, you are taking delight, you are taking pleasure through it, you are enjoying it, and you are also interpreting that how the artist became successful in giving aesthetic pleasure to you. Okay, so the role of you as an art critic is to evaluate that what are the emotional sensibilities, what are the emotions or moods that has been portrayed, and how the artist, how the artist, it can be a filmmaker, it can be a painter, it can be a poet, it can be a novelist, how the artist has achieved in effective expression of the emotions. Okay, there are certain films, students, which do not trigger much emotions in you. Okay, you don't like certain films, you immediately stop watching it, you don't enjoy them. Okay, so those films are not aesthetically enriching to you. Now, next slide. In the West, the philosophy of aesthetics was extended by Edmund Burke in his On the Sublime and Beautiful, Immanuel Kant in his Critique of Judgment, and David Hume. His name is also prominent in the Western philosophy of aesthetics, and also Arthur Schopenhauer, and there are many more. The philosophy of aesthetics in East or West offers a way to understand what is the composition of an artwork and what was the purpose of that composition. So if a film is being made, if a work of art is being made, then what was the intention of the artist? How far the artist has achieved in his or her intention? Okay, so the responses, that the opinions that come in your mind, the ideas that come in your mind when you interpret a work of art, those are considered aesthetic interpretations. The aesthetic experience involves tasting or feeling the emotional sensibilities of an artwork. A person who undergoes aesthetic experience of a work of art is a connoisseur or art critic who takes pleasure in savoring the emotions rendered through the work of art, and also is aware that how the content or composition of that work has been arranged. So an audience who experiences a work of art and also knows that, and also enjoys that particular work of art, takes pleasure, takes great joy in experiencing that work of art, that audience, that person, or that critic is a connoisseur. So he or she is a rasika who savours in the experiencing of the emotions. Okay, that person tastes the emotional sensibilities, the emotions. That person undergoes the moods that are being projected through the artwork, and that person, as an art critic, uh, acknowledges or understands or able to perceive, able to see that what are the ways through which the artist has composed his or her work of art. A film as an aesthetic object. An aesthetic object is an object or an event which focuses on the aesthetic interest, or an aesthetic experience. We might say further that aesthetic objects are objects like paintings, symphonies, plays, flowers, sunsets, and so forth. So from your surroundings, from your environment, you can also uh, attain aesthetic experiences. Okay, from if you are sitting beneath a tree and looking at the mountains and pine trees and the snow-covered peaks of the mountains. Okay, so you are undergoing a particular experience. You are undergoing a transcendental experience, an outwardly experience, a very, fulfilling or enriching experience. Okay, you may also, imagine when you imagine such moods, such concepts, such pictures in your mind, when you have visions. Okay, when you have visions of those landscapes, you are at that time undergoing a particular mood. Okay, so when you are reading a novel, you are imagining. Okay, you are getting a vision. So your imaginative faculty, your imagination is also, leading you to experience different shades of moods. Okay, so looking at a painting, listening to music or a particular melody, then watching plays, looking at flowers or sunsets, they all can give you aesthetic delight. Okay, you may have the feeling of beauty, delight, joy, and experience that you cannot forget, and that experience will be thought provoking. In principle, an aesthetic object can be any sensible object in the world. This is because any sensible object in the world can be approached to or experienced aesthetically. This approach reflects the view that the problems of aesthetics exist primarily because the world contains a special class of objects toward which we react selectively and which we describe in aesthetic terms. My aesthetic opinion on a particular film, on a particular novel, on a particular subject matter will be different than yours because I have a different imaginative faculty. Okay, so some of the moods will be different in me than yours. I will be undergoing a different kind of aesthetic experience. So my my opinion, my take, my observation on a particular subject through which I have taken pleasure, through which I have taken a delightful experience, through which I have had a good time, okay, which I have enjoyed. If I interpret that object, my interpretation will be different than yours. Now, how to analyze film aesthetics? A film as an aesthetic work will give sensory experiences. What are sensory experiences? We all have five sense organs, and all those five sense organs give us sensory experiences. Okay, so when you watch a film, maybe you may watch a character crying, a character laughing. You will be feeling those similar experiences. If a character cries, we feel sad. Okay, if a character rejoices, we feel glad. Okay, we feel happiness. So through the say visual sensory experiences, films give us aesthetic delight. To analyze the aesthetics of a particular film, it should be contemplated upon and judged. So whenever you are giving your aesthetic opinion, aesthetic verdict on a film, then you should be watching that film with a good amount of attention, with great attention, and you should contemplate on it. That if this emotion has been achieved, then how it has been achieved. Okay, what are the elements that are added by the filmmaker in the film to achieve that mood, to express that mood? Judging a film through parameters of aesthetics requires one to pay attention to its execution. The camera angles, shots, contrasting shades or lighting techniques, dialogues, elements of montage, acting skills, musical components, and even the display of landscapes, settings, significance of certain scenes, maybe the opening or the closing scene, are evaluated, are interpreted to reach an aesthetic estimation or aesthetic analysis. Okay, so sometimes shots are shot, okay, the camera angles or the shots are shot from a wide angle frame, from a medium angle frame, or from a panoramic frame. So why are those done? Okay, and if those are done, then what kind of moods are those shots expressing? Okay, so opening scenes and closing scenes are important. Dialogue delivery techniques, acting skills, lighting techniques. If you know, there is too much of light, too much of contrast in the film, or too much of monotones in the film. Okay, so all these are formal elements that you have to interpret to give your aesthetic opinion on a film. To deduce the aesthetic attributes of a film, its appearance should be contemplated on. Attributes means characteristics. To deduce the aesthetic attributes of a film, its appearance should be contemplated on. If the film appears, or if a particular scene appears in contrasting shades, as I said, in monotones, or in too much of color, okay, too much of color, too much of vibrancy. So you should be reflecting, you should be thinking upon those scenes. Okay, all the sensory details, feelings that touch upon the five senses, which trigger certain feelings, should be thought upon. The components or process or strategies implemented to make a film can be interpreted while contemplating on the above subjects. So once you know that, you know, what kind of what is the nature of the scenes, how the scenes have been shot, what are the sensory details, what are the visual details that the filmmaker has given. Okay, it can be through music, it can be through colors, it can be through imagination, anything. Okay, so the five sense organs, okay, the five sense organs, and especially films operate through visual sensory expressions. Okay, always remember, films chiefly operate through visual sensory organ, okay, visual sensory details. So when you are contemplating on the components, formal elements of a film, related to the camera angles, movements, shots, scenes, dialogues, script, narration, when you are evaluating all these formal elements, that what was the purpose behind shooting the scene, what was the purpose behind shooting the film, through a shade of vibrant colors. Okay, so there could be metaphors also, there could be symbols, there could be signs. So when you interpret all these things, you will be able to achieve an aesthetic opinion. The components or process or strategies that are implemented, okay, all the formal elements are the strategies that are implemented to make a film. When you interpret those, those details, uh, upon those details about a film which you have enjoyed, which you have really cherished watching, you will be able to give your aesthetic judgment for that film. To aesthetically interpret a film, it is very essential to analyze how the film is reaching the standards of beauty. So, what are the standards of beauty? What makes the film beautiful? Some films, I just said that you don't watch. Some films you can watch again and again. Some films are extremely beautiful. Even if those films haunt you, even if those films are talking about his cruelty, maybe cruelty of man against women, or say social cruelty, films on Holocaust. Okay, Holocaust films are also very beautiful. They have, why they are beautiful? Because they are they are poignantly touching upon your emotions. They point towards the society. They make you reflect. They make you contemplate on the social issues. So when a work of art, when any film, they trigger your individual say opinions, when they trigger the contemplation, when you start to meditate about the film, when you start to think upon a film, that this was portrayed, how it was portrayed, this was the intention of the director, this was the intention of the cinematographer, this was the intention of the actor. So all, when you start to analyze all these elements, you will give your expression about the beauty of the film, how the film is beautiful to you. What is making the film beautiful? What is making the film a delightful experience, an emotional experience, an experience to remember and to cherish? Films offer sensory perceptions which are felt. Noticing all the minute details through which the task of delivering aesthetics is accomplished. This is the main objective of the aesthetic interpretation of the film. When you notice all the minute details, okay, all the minute formal elements of operating in a film, you will be able to aesthetically interpret the film. Okay, now students, please look at this image. Okay, this image, this still is taken from the film Maleficent Part 1. Now, this following scene shows that a bond of affection is on the way of Maleficent's life. It depicts the emotion of love and also loneliness. Okay, so this scene depicts love and also loneliness. Why loneliness? Because Maleficent is standing at a certain distance. Okay, Maleficent is distant from the child. The child is approachable. Okay, but Maleficent has removed her hand. Okay, she is trying to resist affection, she is trying to resist love, but her head is turned towards baby Aurora. Okay, so and look at the contrasting shades. The light is falling on baby Aurora. Baby Aurora is dressed in yellow frock, or based on white or yellowish creamish color, okay, which signifies light, which signifies the reduction of darkness, the removal of darkness from Maleficent's life. Okay, and also the forest, the landscape, okay, the setting of the scene represents that represents darkness. Okay, it is a night time, it is a night time, it represents darkness. And Maleficent's cloak, a cloak, or her attire, it is it is somehow similar in shade. Okay, it is also dark in shade in comparison, when we compare the setting, when we compare the background setting to the Maleficent's attire. Okay, fine. Now, Maleficent spelling the curse. Look at this scene. When Maleficent was spelling the curse, she was cursing baby Aurora. that she would fall under an eternal sleep, you see again the room is dark. The room is dark. There are iron walls or metallic walls behind her projecting concrete or impregnable walls. Okay, impregnable means the object that you cannot penetrate. Okay, impregnable walls. And look at the color combination. Maleficent is dressed all in black. Okay, there is absence of light. Okay, there is no light in her life. She is in darkness, and the green color symbolizes poison. Okay, poison and maybe evil. Evil, something devilish, something evil in nature. Okay, so now the next slide. Now, when Maleficent tries to revoke the curse or reverse the curse, you see she emits yellow light. She emits the yellow color. So the yellow color, it again, symbolizes the removal of the, say, evil attribute or the evil quality. Okay, the change of Maleficent has also been portrayed through her attire. Maleficent is dressed in yellow attire, okay, yellow dress. And the walls, look at the walls. There are curtains, there are windows. It was Aurora's bedroom. It was Aurora's chamber, sleeping chamber. Okay, so you have to understand that when you are watching the film, when you were watching the film, you were undergoing the emotion of pity. As Maleficent was feeling pity, you were also feeling pity for Maleficent. Okay, you were having a feeling of or an emotion of love for Maleficent, an emotion of, say, understanding for Maleficent. Okay, so that emotion has been portrayed, reflected through the change of attire. Okay, when Maleficent is having a change of heart, Maleficent is trying to revoke the curse. Okay, that change has been portrayed through the shade of yellow. Okay, so these are some of the examples of the minute details that you can think upon while interpreting a film. Films should be interpreted from the point of view of a judge. The intention of the director should also be taken into observation while analyzing a film aesthetically. So as a judge, as an evaluator, you should be interpreting a film. Okay, how the film was made, why the film was made. Role of paradoxes, unexpected outcomes through narration, intellectual dimensions should also be considered. Paradox means opposition. Okay, white and black. Okay, good and evil. So we all perceive our surrounding through paradoxes, through contrasting opinions. Okay, through ideas. We conceive the world, we perceive the world in shades of binary, in shades of opposition. Either a person is good or a person is bad. Okay, so what is the role of paradoxes in films? What is the role of paradoxes? There was a change in Maleficent's character. Maleficent's character changes from, evil, or maybe say, she became evil due to circumstances. Okay, she was not that merciful, but then she became merciful. Okay, she took she started to have love for that child. She started to feel love for that princess. Okay, she started to feel love for Aurora. Unexpected outcomes, the moment you your expectations, the things that are predictable in a film, the moment your expectations do not match with a film, okay, with the director's intention, or with the events of a film. You may expect something and something else may happen in the film. Okay, so when your expectations don't meet, that also triggers emotions in us. That also triggers curiosity among us, okay? And all the other intellectual dimensions, all the possible individual interpretations that you may have, you can bring that in your discussion about aesthetic judgment for a film. Okay, there should be free play of imagination. You are free. There is no foundation upon you to, there are no principles, there are no set standards which would keep you in boundaries to interpret a film. Okay, as Immanuel Kant explains, aesthetic judgment is free from concepts, and beauty itself is not a concept. Beauty is a feeling. Okay, as I said, that Holocaust films are also beautiful. Okay, so beauty is not a concept, beauty is a feeling. Such a conclusion, however, seems to be inconsistent with the fact that aesthetic judgment is a form of personal judgment. You don't need to read the last line. It is, yeah, this much is sufficient for you. So beauty itself is not a concept. Okay, so beauty is a feeling, it is a broad level of perspective. Okay, and students, there is always a debate. There will always remain a debate. What are the standards of beauty, or what are the principles of aesthetics? Yes, aesthetic principles are there. Okay, that what makes a film beautiful, what are the strategies, what are the techniques. Some of the directors in our Bollywood film industry or Hollywood film industry, they make unparalleled cinema. Their strategies are very, very different, very unique in comparison to other filmmakers. Okay, but why is it so? Because those filmmakers, they who are making unique films, they have a free play of imagination, and also they follow certain aesthetic principles. Okay, they don't get carried away by their own by their own opinions. They evaluate their opinions, their ideas, uh, from the perspective of a critic, from the perspective of an outsider. Okay, they try to conceptualize, they try to conceive from the point of view of an audience, that if a person would have watched this film, what he or she should have expected. Okay, so whenever an artist is working or trying to create a work of art, that artist while making that art form, certainly executes, renders his or her emotions, expresses his or her emotions, okay, through the material, through the formal elements that he or she chooses. But that artist also simultaneously tries to imagine, tries to conceptualize, that if an audience, if an outsider would interpret this work, how he or she would feel. So that that kind of observation allows the artist to realize whether he or she is being successful in his or her expression or not. If a filmmaker is not criticizing or not reflecting upon his or her own strategies that he is using, she is using, then the film, will be one-dimensional. The film will not have, depth. Okay, the film will not have multiple layers of meanings. Okay, so every work of art, when you are judging it aesthetically, will have certain principles, certain strategies, and those principles, what are those principles? Those principles will be unique, or those principles are say unique according to their own genre. Okay, the principles of painting will be different, the principles of filmmaking will be different, the principles of writing a poem will be different. Okay, so basing on those principles, an artist should perform, an artist should act. So a filmmaker should be aware of those principles. And what are those principles? Those principles are the formal elements of a work of art. Okay, and what are those formal elements? Camera angles, movements, shots, scenes, setting. Okay, all these music, sound, all these are the formal elements of a film. Okay, fine. So that's all, students. I hope this session is clear to you, and you have achieved an understanding about aesthetics, and what is the concept of aesthetics, and how to interpret a film aesthetically. Thank you. Have a good day.